Oh my goodness. It is really trying. It is really, no, it escaped. No. Hello and welcome back everyone to the Powder Toy, and on my quest to slowly build more and more exotic reactors, there is one element I have not played with. The Singularity is an extremely unstable, impossible to contain material which destroys everything in its path. But could we use it to boil water? Asks humanity. Humans. Every time we come up with a new way to make power, we're like, but can it boil water? And if it can boil water, why aren't we? You can still see the effects of the Singularity here, just going kind of crazy on this dust. It creates massive negative pressure like a black hole. It can move around randomly, it can rip things apart, and just generally it's incredibly hard to contain, which is why we're going to try to contain it. So we're probably going to need this to be very large to be effective. I'm going to make a block of ceramic, and then I'm going to put a beautiful block of titanium inside of it, and then I'm going to use another block of ceramic. So this should cover us when it comes to pressure and heat a little bit, not a lot of it. But let's go ahead and get our Singularity. We're just going to put 1 pixel in. Here we go, ready? And as you can see, it immediately breaches containment. Troubling! Not only troubling, but how do we boil water with this? How do we actually make it into a reactor? It just kind of destroys everything and escapes, and we can't even see it. You can see, look at how much damage is being done, and we can't even see our enemy. This is where I'm gonna start getting creative, because I have a plan. I want to use gravity pumps to try and contain this. So what we're gonna do is we're going to strategically place gravity pumps in a circle around this, kind of like a fusion reactor, what you do with magnets, to try and force the particles to the center by having a negative force pushed from every side. A very high negative force, may I add. Let's draw the gravity fields. We want to repel, which I believe is negativo. Okay, if nothing else, this looks cool. Like, look at this. It looks fancy. And we got this beautiful, wow, did I actually center it perfectly? Oh my goodness. This may be the first time in Spike Viper recorded history where I centered something. Wow. Okay, so now if I put like something normal in here, like let's put some water in here, it should get pushed to the center. Ah! As you can see, most of it went into the center, but these corners are unprotected. Wait, I can center it by using this to show me where to put the thing. This is like the highest quality thing I've ever done in my life, okay? Okay, so we can do this. We're gonna do the same thing here. Same thing, shrink, expand, up, down, left, cool it down. Wow, Spike Viper, nuclear physicist. Guys, I am not lying right now when I say that this is some high quality stuff. We have created a gravitational containment chamber. Yes, yes, it is contained. So this is like the core. For the most part, particles should be pushed into the center of here. Now you may say, Spike, instead of making repulsive things, why didn't you just put an attractive thing in the center? Shut up! That's not as cool, and it's not realistic, because we're not gonna have a mechanical part in the center of a reaction chamber, okay? It would melt, okay? It's more realistic that it's on the outside. I just didn't think of it, okay? Shush. It's okay, this looks way cooler anyways. Alright, so let's see how this does with like normal reactions, right? First, let's see what happens when we use some plutonium. So if I put some plutonium in here and I react it, I don't know actually what to expect, but as you can see, it's kind of containing it towards the side. Okay, that was not good. Okay, if I get freeze powder and purposely put it into these gaps. Okay, I have an idea. Let's purposefully push freeze powder into these gaps. And then it's gonna kind of stabilize. Oh, look, it's making a star. And now that we have these slots filled, I'm actually going to put a secondary line of titanium here. Okay, so I've covered the most likely spots for material to hit with freeze powder, which is now cooling down titanium, which makes this reaction area here, if something does fly out, it's going to hit a pre-cooled section that should be pretty cold. Okay, let's see what happens. We're gonna do the same test again with plutonium. Great, we're just making a gravity reactor now. Oh, do you see? Do you see what it's doing? Yo, that is so cool. It's actually functioning. Okay, it melted down, but did you see how cool that was? Oh goodness, okay, new plan. I'm just going to completely fill this with freeze powder. Let's see how this works. But you did see how every time it reacted, it collapsed back in. That is so cool, the balance between the air pressure and the gravity, and then it kind of forces it towards the center in the end. Sure, it melted down again, but we have an actual good idea now. Also, I could just do a smaller amount. Like, nobody said it has to be some massive blob. Yeah, baby, look at that. It is stable, and you'll notice that we are getting a lot of heat out of it, which means it is, in fact, a reactor. We need to carry that heat away to do something. So let's figure out that, the whole carrying heat away thing. That's gonna be important. My goals are just to make something that doesn't look bad, okay? If it works, that's a bonus. True engineering. Okay, here we go. Now we have a very beautiful, I feel like we should actually be using liquid nitrogen for this, but I also don't want to make it too cold because then we're not actually like, it's a reactor, right? So we have to react something. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make the heat exchanger. It's gonna just be a massive piece of titanium, and then I'm just going to build a little cooling tower. There we go. I've still got it. All these years later, I can still build a cooling tower. And we're gonna put some water on here. As I said before, it is all about boiling water. That is electricity production. Okay, ignore the fact that the strange forces in the world are causing the water to just go upwards and freeze. Looks like the negative temperature is being exchanged very well. Good, good. Very cool tower. All right, now let's go ahead and put our reactive material in the center, which for now is going to be plutonium before I actually put the singularity stuff in. There we go. All right, it started to react, and we have the cool bit is warming up. Pressure's going up. Temperature is rapidly rising. 100 degrees, and we are starting to get cooling action. Wow, from such a tiny amount of plutonium, this thing is incredibly effective. Except for the fact that it just melted down. Whoops. The cooling tower, the amount of pressure being exuded from it's just pushing the water out. It's not actually getting to boiling temp. The issue is I just realized the problem is that there is no gravity in the simulation. There being no gravity is going to make this part very challenging. I can make localized gravity. Let's make a localized gravity pump just for the sake of pulling the water. All right, I'm gonna grab some rapid heat conductor. I'm going to accelerate the rate at which heat is pulled out of this thing. Okay, we have rapid heat conductor now through the whole thing. All right, but let's see if it's fast enough. All right, plutonium, do something. Oh, the pressure is a negative in here. Okay, I really need to increase the pressure in this chamber. Oh, the heat is definitely getting carried. We can see some interesting stuff going on. Is it finally reacting? I may just have to add more plutonium. I'm gonna add some more plutonium. What could possibly go wrong? All right, we've got a reaction taking place. It is not critical. It's just kind of doing its thing, breaking down. We got some pops, some popping going on. The temperature of the inside is about 100 degrees higher than the outside, but that's reasonable. Is it still not conducting the heat fast enough that it's at 300 degrees now, and the water is just about hitting 60, 500, 600 degrees, and the water is still not really boiling. There we go, it's starting to boil. It's starting to boil. Will it be able to carry the heat away now with cool water coming in? That is the question. Nope, this gravity is actually causing the entire thing to not work, so we're gonna kill it. We're gonna kill it. All right, cooling. Oh wait, no, the clone was there the whole time. Okay, is the cooling actually cooling? I mean, it's holding it at about 1600 degrees, but that's far too hot. Far too hot. Although it has stabilized, it's not pretty. Okay, so slight changes are going to be made. We're going to undo this. We are going to copy this. I didn't need to go that wide. We're going to copy this. We're gonna paste it on the other side. Now we're engineering. All right, we are doubling the cooling capacity of this. What could possibly go wrong? I am going to replace the inner sphere of this with tungsten. No, there's no way it'll hold up. Never mind, there's no way it'll hold up to the pressures in the reaction chamber. I take back the idea. It was a good on paper, but then I thought for 2 more seconds, and even with 2 cooling towers, still way too much heat is being dumped. Actually, it's really, this area is fine, but the center is still just, we aren't pulling enough heat out, which means I'm probably going to need more rapid heat conductors that like specifically pull heat to this ring, which is unfortunate because I'm not a huge fan of cheating and using rapid heat conductor, but if we don't, there is no way that this is going to be singularity ready. All right, let's see what happens now. Will that help cool it down? Actually, it looks like it dropped the temperature by a good 100 degrees, but it's still not enough. Oh, it's the one spot that I missed, actually. That's funny. I feel like the ring that we made is not thick enough, but we'll see. Will it pull the heat out? Actually, 1200 degrees. That's a bit lower. All right, you know what? I feel like we gotta take this a step further. We're going to have to just go for like maximum heat absorption, which means that I'm going to pull titanium through here, and I'm going to rapid heat conductor junction, and then I'm going to rapid heat conductor directly to this panel here. All right, I think this is gonna do it. This is gonna pull way more heat out. Come on. No, it's still, it was on the verge of melting down when I did it, is the problem. Maybe my design is just bad. Maybe I just need to accept that there is no Spike Viper singularity reactor happening in this century. Or maybe that is defeatism, and I should not give up because we are Vooperia. And if we want to build a damn reactor, we will build a damn reactor. This thing is starting to look pretty over-engineered, not gonna lie. But that's a good sign, right? Over-engineering things has never led to problems in the history of engineering. Just ask my good friends, the over-engineerers. Here is how it'll work, right? We're still gonna have plutonium in the center, but mixed with water, actually. So what'll happen is that the water will pick up the heat of the reaction, become steam, and then that water will hit the edges And when the water hits those edges, it will impart the energy onto the titanium wall rather than just having raw plutonium slamming into the end. And that should be stable-ish. Okay, so as you can see, I think this is actually working really well. So the water is at a little bit over 100 degrees, but because of the pressure, it is not turning into steam. And if we keep feeding plutonium in, this is way more stable than it was before. As you can see, it's just barely, very slowly letting that heat out. And now we're starting to get it. This superheated water vapor at about 170 degrees, 200 degrees. Wow, this is way easier to control. Why didn't I do this in the first place? Using water for this is huge. Yeah, we may need just a tiny bit more water. There we go. Just a tiny bit of heat exchange going on here. It's all about keeping the reaction controlled. Doesn't help that the chamber isn't really centered anymore due to all of the reconfiguration I've done. But you can see how it's just very slowly at these edge points pulling the heat out. Actually, the rest of the chamber has a very consistent temperature. What's left? Is there still... Oh, it's just uranium and stone left. We got to replace the plutonium. Plutonium replacement. Let a bit more reaction go underway. The water vapor inside of here is now at 400 degrees. It's transferring that heat rather effectively, and all that's left is uranium and stone. Oh, wow. Okay, it's actually super effectively reacting now to the point where I think we could just add a lot of plutonium. Look at that. We've got 3,000 degree uranium being contained. We have over 1,000 degree water vapor here, and the rapid heat conductor is pulling this out to the side. Unfortunately, the water escapes so quickly. We're really just dumping the heat out because of the weird gravitational situation we've got going on here. Let's increase the rate at which it's able to dump that heat. All right, now we're hitting boiling, at least on the surface of the plates. I'm gonna allow a little bit more water to transfer the energy across, and we have a beautiful, glorious, stable reactor. It can handle the ongoing heat of the uranium that's left, and it can handle the peak heat of the plutonium. But one question remains. Can it handle a singularity? Because that was the purpose of this, to contain a singularity. We've built something that can handle incredible amounts of heat. We've built something that can handle incredible forces. So what I'm gonna do is gonna delete that. Gonna put some water in, and I'm going to put a very tiny singular piece of singularity in here, and we are going to see what happens frame by frame. All right, to start, we have the singularity pulling the water in. I believe it's actually being contained at the center. I can see it's moving around. It's this pixel right here. It threw the water, but it is actually being contained. It's not escaping that center area. Oh my goodness. It is really trying. It is really... No, it escaped! No! Oh, no. I think there's a lesson to be learned here about man and his desire to build things that defy nature. There is a lesson as I watch this single pixel of singularity tear through my efforts as if they're nothing at all. And the lesson is that sometimes you lose, and that's okay. It even destroyed my gravity pubs. What was I thinking? I thought we could contain it. Apparently, I was just horribly wrong. I guess when they said "and destroys everything," they really meant it. Well, that was the singularity reactor. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will be crying in my bedroom. Peace out. Well, at least it was a cool looking reactor. That's all I can say.